Welcome to the Dry Bones Army podcast. I'm your host, Sandy Storm. I am beyond blessed that you are joining us today. I started the Dry Bones Army for people just like you, people who are sick and tired of hearing news stories about victims being exploited, abused, and trafficked, people who have been searching for a way to pray with partners from around the world, seeking an end to human trafficking. To share a little bit about who I am and why I started this podcast, well, I'm an author, I'm a speaker, and I'm a certified coach. Today, I help people discover their destiny and the purpose that God created them for. But I wasn't always a life coach. I actually was a victim of human trafficking from the age of 6 to 26. But on March 18th, 2004, I finally broke free, and I've been living a life of freedom and purpose ever since. Professionally, I've been working in the anti-trafficking movement since 2009. I've been working with law enforcement, medical, education professionals, service providers, faith-based organizations, ministries, and churches to help provide training and consulting about human trafficking. And I have written a trilogy called the Navi series that tells the story of my experience while I was being trafficked. But because I survived, hope is on every single page. And one of the questions that I get asked most often is how to strategically pray for an end to human trafficking. So many people want to be involved in this work, but they just don't know how they can be effective. Well, I have good news for you. If you've been asking that question, I'm here to let you know you can be part of the story of freedom and hope for human trafficking victims today. And as my dear friend and mentor, Dr. Tommy Grover, famously says, prayer is the work. So we started the Dry Bones Army podcast as a way to bring together experts on human trafficking who are working on the front lines so they can share the truth about human trafficking and so they can inspire you with amazing stories of hope and transformation, all with a biblical context and a time of strategic, focused prayer with our live audience of folks just like you who are joining us to pray for an end to human trafficking. The Dry Bones Army gets together on the second Tuesday of each month for our live meeting, joined by our special guest and our live audience of prayer intercessors from across the nation and around the world. This recording will then be edited and posted within days of that live meeting. And you can watch the video on YouTube or listen to the podcast on your favorite app once it's shared. So subscribe to our podcast so you can get updates when monthly interviews and the prayer meetings are shared. And if you want to join us for the live recording and get a chance to engage and pray with the special guest speaker and maybe even have a time for Q&A, then you should enlist in the Dry Bones Army prayer team by joining our tribe of prayer partners who have committed to praying for an end to trafficking in our lifetime. You can be a part of this team when you put your email in at thedrybonesarmy.com. As a member of the Dry Bones Army, you will receive insider information to kick open spiritual doors and shine the light of hope into the darkness so children can be set free from evil traffickers. These meetings are free, and you'll get a free gift just for signing up on the newsletter list at thedrybonesarmy.com. You can connect with me on social media at author Sandy Storm. And you can visit authorsandystorm.com to learn more about the Dry Bones Army and some other exciting projects that I would love for you to be a part of. Our first episode for the podcast will feature the brilliant Dr. Tommy Grover, so make sure to listen and learn from this incredible minister who has been fighting trafficking across the decades. I can't wait to share it with you. And we have some incredible guests already lined up for the upcoming months. So connect with me on Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn. Let me know what you think about the Dry Bones Army podcast. And thank you for joining us to pray for an end to human trafficking in our lifetime.